Leaving out the second half of the Indiana game yesterday, were you happy with the way the team came out and played after a tough loss against Notre Dame?
Well, I would like to leave out certain periods of certain matches and kind of put it all together with those good performances. But at the end of the day, we need to put together 90 minutes in each game, and the bottom line is that there are no moral victories in this, especially with the teams that we have slated to play. So I want to kind of open with that. But after looking at the video, there were certainly tons of positives that are just so evident when you look at the games. But I've said this before, that in soccer in particular, maybe in other sports, you can always point to 4 or 5 moments in the game that are going to swing it one way or another. And in particular, being able to capitalize or maximize on a momentum shift. And that's the part to me, especially on the Sunday game against Indiana, that got away from us.
You mentioned how playing half a game isn't going to cut it. Is that something that can be worked out through practice, or is it just a mental thing that the guys have to work through on their own?
Yeah, it will get worked out in practice, and it is a mental thing. I think that just like the technique of our sport, passing and receiving, being able to control the ball, that needs to be trained on a daily basis. So are habits. Habits are trained on a daily basis, and how we approach and go about the game, and how the guys manage the game. Being up a goal, being down a goal, being on the road, those type of scenarios that you train those mentality moments. And so, yeah, we're going to work on those things in training. We have. We just know that now. Through a harsh lesson, that's a premium because the margin of error is so small. And I'm confident that our guys are going to take this sour note and turn it into something that we need to turn it into. But we just can't have too many of these.
For most of the early season so far, the Beavers have been the team applying the pressure. Against Notre Dame, it seemed that they were controlling the play and your backline had more stress put on it. How did you feel that they responded to that?
The backline did ever so well against Notre Dame. Notre Dame really found themselves into a good rhythm. It was a slick night. It was all that Friday night, the day before a football game, and so they had a lot of mojo going on, and we were able to absorb a lot. And on the road, at times, you have to be able to do that. I think Friday night was a matter of lack of execution for us. They were able to get a lot of momentum because I thought we gave the ball away too easily at times and in key spots. And so for us, it was a matter of executing what we needed to execute to simply play just a little bit better. But instead, we gave a good Notre Dame team extra fuel to hem us into our own half of the field. And you don't want to do that for too long. There are certain times in a momentum swing that you're going to have to dig in a little bit and dig a trench and hold it off. But at the same time, you got to be able to mount your own attacks, and we just didn't execute as good as we did.
You lost Kyrie Shelton due to injury in the Notre Dame game, and Jackson Groves didn't play all weekend. Can you talk about their injury situation?
Well, yeah, having those two key players out is a big impact for us, because when you play a Friday Sunday, you want to be as strong and as deep as possible. But having said that, I think with the personnel that we did have, we were certainly good enough to pick up better results in both games. I think when you look at missing players, everybody's going to miss players. People get hurt, and it's a part of the game. So that's why the depth piece is crucial. So we don't want to make excuses that way. But I do think that at full strength, we're able to do some more things. But having said that, they had some guys step up, and I was very pleased to see that the bench in both games step up. We just didn't complete the jobs. That was the difference.
Looking ahead now to Gonzaga, did you have a chance to scout them in person when you guys were in Spokane a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, and Gonzaga has been on TV already with Washington on the Pac12 network, so we've been able to see them play, and they've been able to see us play. And to be fair, there's no big secrets with how both teams are going to go about things. It's always a very, very tough game between the two, and a regional rivalry. We're in each other's tournament as the fourth team, so we know a lot about each other. There's a couple of guys that know our guys through maybe summer play, and anytime you have a regional game like that, it's going to be very, very difficult. And they have a more mature group coming back. They didn't lose too much from last year, and they've already put a couple nice results in the win column. So it's a fun game. We're always looking forward to it. And for us, it's the chance to correct some things that needed to be corrected from the following weekend and move forward.
Is it a good thing to have just the one game this weekend and for it to be at home after a couple of grinding weekends on the road?
Yeah, sometimes the schedule works out to have that work in your favor. We had the two back-to-back weekends on the road, especially one back to the Eastern time zone last weekend. And so coming back and maybe get an extra day of rest is going to bode well for us. Gonzaga didn't play all last week, so their last game was 2 weeks ago. And so they should be well rested. But at the same time, after the Gonzaga match, we have our own tournament. So, it's a one-game weekend for us this weekend, and then a two-game weekend, and then we open the Pac12 conference with a one-game opener at Washington. So it ends up working out well rhythmically, and it gives our guys a chance to heal that need to heal. And it gives us a chance to shore up some things in areas that we need to do better in.
Speaking of the Pac-12 Opener, you're about 3 weeks away. Do you feel the team is on schedule to where you would like it to be for that first game against Washington?
Yes and no. I think we're on schedule with things that we have put together in pockets during the game, but no, as far as being able to get the results that we go out and try to earn. If we were to get away with a win and a tie from this last weekend, I would probably say yes and yes. But at the end of the day, we got to get the results that you go in for, and we're certainly capable of doing that. So it's following through with the formula. You've got the pieces, then you train, and then you have the performance, and then through the performance you get the result. And so getting a result piece is going to be crucial before we go into conference play.